NATO countries are wary of deploying troops to Ukraine as part of a reassurance force without a US backstop. Defense ministers attended a meeting at NATO on Thursday, which, according to UK Defense Secretary John Healey, aimed to focus on how operational planning of the coalition could work. The gathering comes after a delegation of French and British military officials travelled to Kyiv to discuss planning. French President Emmanuel Macron, who chaired a summit of leaders on the issue last month, said that not all of the 33 delegations at the summit had agreed to take part. The Romanian Navy has deployed forces in the Black Sea, with dozens of ships, patrol planes, helicopters and thousands of military personnel taking part in the largest naval exercise. The Black Sea is a vital border for NATO's eastern security flank. About 40 miles off the Romanian coast, the alarm suddenly sounds and an unknown target appears on radar. The entire crew goes on full alert.
Naval, elicopter care decolează în acest moment într-o misiune de recunoaștere, o misiune de supraveghere maritimă. Ne îndreptăm spre zona de trageri reale din cadrul acestui exercițiu.
With the enemy target in sight, the fleet is positioning for attack. 2,600 troops from 12 countries are taking part in the joint training.
30 de nave și aeronave participă în acest moment la secvența de pe mare a exercițiului multinațional Sea Shield. Partenerii aliații din 12 state se antrenează în comun pe diverse scenarii pentru a putea să reacționeze în cazul unor evenimente reale.
The Mine Countermeasures Black Sea Task Group, set up last year, also takes part in the simulation.
Există un pericol de mine în derivă în Marea Neagră. Acesta are un impact operațional. Trebuie să fii mult mai atent, trebuie să acorzi o anumită adăpost pe timp de noapte atunci când detectarea lor este din ce în ce mai dificilă. Dar în rest intenționăm și cred eu că reușim să menținem această relație cu partenerii și să obținem ceea ce numim de atâtea ori interoperabilitate. Trebuie să învățăm să lucrăm împreună, să operăm împreună și să fim pe aceeași limbă.
Special forces, combat divers and specialists in chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear defense are involved in simulating various war scenarios. But it's not enough.
În Marea Neagră, știți foarte bine, de la începutul războiului au fost amenințări. Flota rusă a Mării Negre a executat atacuri asupra Ucrainei, atât cu nave de suprafață, cu submarine și cu aviație. Normal că avem nevoie de tehnică modernă, la fel cum avem nevoie și de oameni foarte bine pregătiți. Avem nevoie de programe de modernizare în concordanță cu amenințările de care am amintit mai devreme.
The exercises, designated to test NATO's response to possible hybrid maritime or air threats, are carried out in complex scenarios with live firing and attack simulations.
And I say that
in a bid to justify the now-imposed tariffs on foodstuffs, Donald Trump recently claimed that agricultural goods from other parts of the world, such as the EU, are unsafe for American consumers and do not meet the US standards.
these other countries are all for this calamity.
The head of the EU Food Safety Agency, EFSA, Bernard Url, refuted this characterization of European foods in an interview with Euronews.
This cannot be food from the European Union, for sure not. The food in the European Union is safe. It's because of safe production methods, it's because of inspection, because of enforcement of the food legislation, and also because of EFSA. If Mr. President would be speaking about food from the EU, it's wrong.
In this 90-day truce on tariffs called by Trump on Wednesday, the European Commission now faces tough negotiations with the US to avert a trade war. One potential strategy could involve a promise to increase imports from the US to ease trade tensions. But according to Earl, the EU will not lower its food safety standards to achieve that goal.
I'm absolutely sure food safety standards are not negotiable. We have our European standards. They are the highest in the world, and they will stay like that. There might be other trade issues to be dealt with. Yes, it's not my business, but on food safety there will be no compromise.
Europe's handling of recent outbreaks, such as avian flu, has demonstrated the effectiveness of EU food safety standards.
In principle, we start from a less good point compared to the United States, but we have it under control. In the US, we have now different strains of avian flu. So also here I would say Europe is a good example.
With the latest pause move, more and more experts believe that the tariffs are just a way to start bilateral negotiations. Although it is difficult to foresee the outcome of all this, the EU looks set to stick with its standards.
A recent rape case in Lisbon has shocked the country. 3 young influencers allegedly filmed themselves raping a 16-year-old girl and posted the video on social media. The images were viewed by 32,000 people and no one reported it. The 3 suspects, aged between 17 and 19, were arrested but later released by the court. Hundreds took to the streets demanding tougher cautionary measures.
São muito brandas para casos tão graves, e neste caso específico em que eles são influencers, têm as suas plataformas com muitos seguidores. Acho que teria sido, no mínimo, justo que tivessem sido suspensas as contas, enquanto há a investigação, claro.
As violações estão a ser cada vez mais sistemáticas e a lei não faz nada, é apenas suspensa. Estes miúdos o que fizeram é grave, é um crime e as mulheres têm de ser pelo menos protegidas.
Political leaders who were at the rally argued that rape should be a public crime and that social media platforms should be held responsible for sharing this content. Inés Marinho saw an intimate video of her widely released on Telegram and decided to create the movement Don't Share, which in 2021 became an association to support victims of image-based violence.
Eu acho que as pessoas já têm, com estes grupos todos de partilha de conteúdo íntimo, com todas estas pessoas a falarem abertamente e de forma violenta contra as mulheres, meio que isto está um bocadinho banalizado e normalizado e que as pessoas estão desensibilizadas.
Young people's early exposure to the internet has increased access to pornographic and violent content.
Quando veem imagens de pornografia, estão a deturpar aquilo que é a essência da sexualidade e, portanto, estão a absorver os conceitos ou os comportamentos que são completamente desadequados de uma vida normal, com um companheiro, com uma família. E isto, muitas vezes, está a toldar comportamentos de que eles acham que aquilo é a forma de se relacionarem com os outros.
According to the latest annual report on internal security, in the analysis of juvenile crime, crimes of a sexual nature predominate, namely the sexual abuse of children committed by minor offenders. The Portuguese internal security system also highlighted the crime of child pornography on apps such as Discord or WhatsApp.
Segundo o Centro para Crianças Desaparecidas e Exploradas, estima-se que globalmente 1 em cada 8 crianças seja vítima de alguma forma de violência sexual online ou na vida real, em comparação com 1 em cada 5 crianças na Europa. Estimativas mais conservadoras também dizem que quase 200 milhões de conteúdos, imagens ou vídeos exibindo uma criança a ser abusada sexualmente circulavam amplamente na internet entre 2021 e 2023. São cerca de 3 conteúdos compartilhados online a cada segundo no espaço de 2 anos. Joana Mourão Carvalho para a Euronews, em Lisboa.
Without them, no parish would function, and yet they still have no say or access to any leadership positions. Now, for the first time, Catholic women are going on strike. That's the case of Mathilde, a lawyer based in Paris.
L'idée, c'est vraiment de manifester en fait, dans ce temps du carême, pendant ces 40 jours du carême, de manifester une incompréhension réelle quant à la place des femmes aujourd'hui dans l'Église. Moi, au début, j'avais décidé notamment de ne plus aller à l'Église du tout. Et puis là, j'ai un petit peu changé d'avis, j'ai plutôt préféré porter mon badge et aller à l'église en portant mon badge pour essayer d'entraîner des discussions, de faire en sorte qu'on puisse en parler avec les gens que ça interroge.
Until April 17th, Catholic women across France and beyond are protesting to demand equality and greater influence within the church. The movement is led in France by the Comité de la Jupe, the skirt committee, which says women do 80% of the essential work in parishes.
À côté de cette gouvernance strictement masculine, vous avez une réalité de terrain où les femmes, en fait, sont partout. Les églises sont remplies de femmes, que ce soit les paroissiennes, les bénévoles, dans les paroisses, dans les associations, dans le social, dans le care. Elles sont partout, mais elles ont ce plafond de verre qui font qu'elles ne peuvent pas accéder à certaines responsabilités.
The strike is also meant to force bishops to listen. So far, there's been little to no official dialogue. But some inside the church are starting to speak up.
Souvent, quand je discute de ces choses-là, c'est compliqué. C'est compliqué parce qu'il n'y a pas l'habitude et qu'il y a la peur de perdre du pouvoir. Et c'est compliqué parce que les avis sont très partagés. Comme dans la société, les prêtres sont en général désireux qu'hommes et femmes puissent travailler ensemble. Après, il y a quelquefois la peur par rapport à ce qui ressemble à du pouvoir.
The movement is gaining traction worldwide, with strikes reported in the US, India, Poland, and Spain. In France alone, the Skirt Committee says its membership has grown to over 300 members. As Catholic women are raising their voices, this time they're not just asking to be heard, they're demanding real change.